You awaken in a world that breathes too hard. The air is thick, heavy, and sweet. Every breath feels like fire laced with honey. Your lungs ache from abundance. Even the stones seem to pulse beneath your feet, warm with unseen life. It is not you who rules this land. It is the atmosphere itself, swollen with oxygen, rich beyond imagination. 35%. Enough to make forests roar, enough to make creatures grow monstrous, enough to set the sky ablaze at the mere whisper of lightning. You stand within a forest that would dwarf your modern mind. Towering ferns climb stories into the clouds. Every trunk is wrapped in vines as thick as serpents. The canopy above doesn't just shade the world, it strangles the sunlight, creating a green twilight that never truly ends. Listen, the forest isn't quiet. It breathes, it hisses, it hunts. Each rustle hides a predator, each vibration a signal of life too large, too ancient, too oxygen-drunk to imagine. Then comes the sound, a low clicking hum, like a heartbeat made of wings. From the mist emerges a dragonfly, its wings the size of shields, its eyes reflecting the jungle like twin mirrors of glass. It darts impossibly fast toward the movement below, a small amphibian, glistening and weak, struggling among the roots. The strike is instantaneous. Chitin meets flesh. Predator meets prey. Silence follows. But even silence here feels alive. Because this world burns on overdrive, oxygen saturating every corner, every cell, every possible form of life. The rules are different. Gravity hasn't changed, but ambition has. Everything grows larger, faster, more dangerous. You move deeper through the fern valley. The ground is slick, the air dense with spores and vapor. Every step leaves an imprint that hisses as oxygen feeds the decay beneath your feet. You smell resin, smoke, and something else, something almost electrical. A forest waiting to ignite. Far above, thunder murmurs, not yet storm, but promise. Lightning here doesn't need permission. One strike can erase entire worlds of wood and leaf. And still, life thrives, knowing it lives on the edge of its own destruction. A titanic millipede uncoils from the roots beside you, black, gleaming, armored in glistening segments. It is longer than a crocodile, its mandibles dripping clear venom that smells of metal and rot. It doesn't fear. Nothing here fears. Predators are not shadows. They are the forest itself, crawling, flying, burrowing through the overgrowth of a planet too alive for comfort. There is beauty here, too, brutal, endless beauty. Giant trees shimmer with crystal sap that catches the low sunlight and throws it into molten reflections. Spore clouds drift like golden mist, dancing in the rich air. The ground is a carpet of emerald moss that glows faintly at dusk. But beauty here is bait, and life is the trap. You sense it now, the imbalance. This world is too perfect, too alive, too combustible. The air that feeds the giants also fuels their extinction. One spark, one flame, one careless moment, and the forest will not burn slowly. It will explode. The age of oxygen is not a blessing. It is a fever, and Earth is sweating through evolution itself. As night falls, the first fireflies emerge, but they're not small. Their glow is like lanterns, drifting through the humid dark, each one as large as your hand. Their light reflects in the black waters of ancient swamps where amphibian kings rise to feed. Their croaks echo like thunder across the land. This world is alive beyond reason. Every breath of it dares the impossible until evolution decides the cost. Because life, swollen with abundance, always tempts its own destruction. And in the heart of this oxygen-drenched chaos, something new is stirring. A spark, a curiosity, a shape of life that will one day look back on this era and whisper, "We were born from fire. The storm has passed, but the air is still humming." You feel it in the soil, in the pulse of the ground, the oxygen-soaked heartbeat of a planet at war with its own creation. From the steaming pools of the ancient swamp, monsters rise. Their bodies glisten like wet obsidian, their skin thick with muscle and mucus, veins pulsing blue with oxygen-rich blood. They breathe greedily, and they grow endlessly. The dragonfly lords, masters of the sky above the forest canopy, the first rulers of the air awaken. Their wings slice through the fog, shimmering bronze in the dim light. Their eyes, a mosaic of 1,000 perfect lenses, see every tremor, every flicker of motion below. Meganeura, the ancient dragonfly, spreads its wings wider than a hawk's, nearly 3 feet across. When it moves, the air trembles. Each flap burns energy like fire, but the air itself feeds the flame. With 35% oxygen saturating the sky, wings beat slower, breaths come easier, and the insects become titans. They are hunters of the wind, aerial assassins that strike with surgical precision. Their world is not peaceful. It's a sky of duels, dragonfly versus dragonfly, each defending its hunting ground like a sky king. Below, their shadows sweep across the swamps, where smaller creatures hide from the shimmering death above. When they dive, it's silent, a single blink, a glint of light, a snap of mandibles. The prey doesn't scream. There's no time. They are the first lords of the air, and the air itself made them gods. The millipede titans, lords of the earth beneath the canopy, among roots and fallen trunks, another empire crawls. A black wall of armor undulates through the fern shadows. Arthropleura, the millipede titan. It is longer than a crocodile, heavier than a man, armored in hundreds of interlocking plates that click as it moves. Each step leaves an imprint in the mud, a fossil waiting to happen. It feeds on rotting leaves, dead wood, and decay. But even as an herbivore, it's unstoppable. Few dare challenge a creature that size. Even the predators of this world hesitate before its rolling fortress of muscle and chitin. It does not hunt, but it dominates. Its armor gleams under the mist, black as volcanic glass. And when it moves through the undergrowth, the forest bends away. It is the weight of evolution, slow, relentless, and inevitable. The amphibian kings, lords of the swamp in the still waters of a prehistoric lagoon, a ripple breaks the surface. A head rises, smooth, wide, and heavy as a boulder. Eyes like molten amber open slowly, glistening under the fading light. Aeops, the amphibian titan. Half reptile, half fish, all predator. 10 feet of living muscle, jaws wide enough to swallow a small creature whole. When it moves, it stirs waves across the swamp. When it hunts, the air goes still. It waits for movement, a dragonfly that falls too low, a creature crossing the shallows, then strikes with explosive speed. The world here belongs neither to land nor water. It belongs to the in-between, where amphibians rule with patience and power. Their lungs drink oxygen like wine, their hearts beat with ancient rhythm, slow, deliberate, unstoppable. The fire dilemma, but abundance carries a curse. The more oxygen fills the sky, the more fragile the world becomes. Every storm brings fire. Every spark threatens annihilation. When lightning strikes, the forest does not simply burn, it erupts. Flames leap from fern to fern, racing faster than any creature can flee. The air feeds it greedily, as if the planet itself is hungry for destruction. Entire ecosystems vanish overnight. And yet, from the ashes, life returns, greener, stronger, more complex. Each inferno prunes the weak, leaving behind only those who can endure. Fire becomes a force of evolution, a brutal teacher shaping the survivors. The secret within the breath the world is enormous now. Every insect a predator, every predator a monument to abundance. But deep within the chaos, the first quiet intelligence begins to stir, not yet human, not even mammal, but something small, watching, learning, waiting. It hides beneath the roots as giants pass above. It survives the fires others cannot. It learns that to live in a world this dangerous, size is not strength, adaptation is. And so, even as the oxygen builds empires of monsters, evolution begins to whisper another idea, one that will one day rewrite creation itself. Brains will outlast brawn. The earth breathes heavily, swollen with life. But already the balance is breaking. The forests that built these titans are choking on their own generosity. And soon the fire will come again, this time, to reset the scales forever. Because no giant lasts forever. Not in a world that burns so easily. The forest is still, too still. No wind, no breath, no movement. Only the low hum of life suspended in a single, dangerous heartbeat. The air feels wrong. It's too rich, thick as syrup, humming with invisible fuel. Every leaf trembles with static. Every fern is a fuse waiting for a spark. And in the distance, thunder murmurs again. The first spark, it begins small, it always does. A single bolt of lightning splits the sky in two. For a moment, night becomes white fire. The sound comes later, deep, rolling, endless. The bolt strikes an ancient tree, one of the giants that has stood for centuries, drinking from the wet soil and breathing the fat, sweet air. In another world, the tree would smolder. Here it explodes. The flame doesn't crawl, it runs. It sprints from root to canopy, leaping through the air as if gravity has lost its grip. The fire breathes like a living thing, inhaling oxygen, exhaling chaos. Every living creature feels it, not as light or heat, but as terror. The dragonflies scatter into the sky. The giant millipedes burrow desperately into the earth. The amphibians retreat into boiling waters. But there is no escape. The air itself is fuel. Flames twist into the clouds, so tall they make their own weather. Thunder roars within the firestorm. Rain falls, but it's too late. The forest that once ruled the planet is now a pyre. For 3 days it burns. For 3 weeks it glows. For 3 centuries its ashes feed new life. The age of smoke the planet changes. Slowly, painfully. The fires do not stop, they become the climate. Lightning ignites new infernos before the old ones fade. The sky fills with smoke, thick enough to dim the sun. The air that once fed life now suffocates it. Oxygen, once a blessing, becomes poison. Creatures that need too much of it burn from within, their bodies overclocked, their cells breaking down faster than they can repair. The giants begin to fall. The dragonflies lose their kingdom first. Their wings, once unstoppable, grow heavy. Their metabolism, the very thing that made them titans, betrays them. The oxygen that once lifted them now dooms them as the air thins again. In time, they vanish, leaving only fossils and legends carved into stone. The millipedes follow, their armored hulks no longer sustainable in a world where forests die faster than they grow. The amphibians cling to the last swamps, their calls echoing through choking air, until even they fade into silence. The earth exhales, a long, smoky sigh, and the age of abundance collapses. The great reset the fires strip the planet bare. Charcoal layers cover continents, black lines of history that scientists will one day unearth and whisper about. Each layer tells the same story. Too much of anything, even life, destroys itself. But beneath the ashes, something stirs. Tiny, soft-bodied creatures crawl from the soot. They are not giants. They are not armored. They are small, weak, and quiet. And that is their power. They breathe less, move less, need less. In the ruins of oxygen's empire, they thrive. Evolution has shifted its favor. The age of monsters ends. The age of adaptation begins. Earth's silent oath for millions of years, the world remembers what happened. It remembers the sound of endless fire. It remembers the black sky. It remembers the pain of too much breath. So the earth makes a new balance, a quieter rhythm. Oxygen will never again reach such heights. The air will be enough to feed, but never enough to ignite the sky. Life learns restraint. The planet learns humility. And from the ashes of giants, the seeds of new life emerge, smaller, smarter, and infinitely patient. Because the lesson is carved into every surviving cell. Abundance demands a price. Echoes of extinction, the last of the oxygen titans lie in shallow grave, their bones fossilized beneath layers of burnt soil. Dragonfly wings, once vast and holy, are now pressed into rock like memories. The forest that once ruled the air is gone. But the silence that follows is not death, it's rebirth. The world, cooled and scarred, waits for what comes next. Something is coming, not massive, not powerful, but curious. A spark that does not burn forests, but builds them. A creature that will not bow to oxygen or flame, but learn to master both. And one day, long after the firestorm ends, it will look upon the fossils of the giants and whisper, "We were not born from strength. We were born from the ashes of those who mistook it for eternity."